Hello, hope you're well, and welcome to episode 17 of Benjy's Cafe podcast, with me, Ben Harlow. Joining me for a coffee this week in Benjy's Cafe is the actor, singer and vocal coach, Kate Graham. Kate is currently starring as Tanya in the smash hit ABBA musical Mamma Mia at the Novello Theatre. Her previous theatre credits include Diane in the Olivier Award-winning Come From Away, Mrs. Wilkinson in Billy Elliot, and the original cast of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the producers, both at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. In fact, her CV is as great as she is. Oh yes, Kate is also 402 days alcohol-free.
Sometimes I make myself do a little gratitude list every day. And sometimes it's the same and sometimes it's different. But I try and do 5 of each thing. 5 things I'm grateful about myself, 5 things I'm grateful for about my life, and 5 things I'm grateful for in the world. When it's really hard to find things that you like, even finding the tiniest thing then immediately turns me around.
Oh, just wonderful. In this episode, we chat about Kate's performing career, including working with Sam Mendes, and we discuss the joy and freedom of living an alcohol-free life. Pop the kettle on and enjoy listening. Welcome to Benjy's Cafe podcast, Kate Graham. Good morning, Kate. Welcome to Benjy's Cafe.
Morning.
How are you?
This is good, isn't it? Hello.
It's great to see you. You're looking so well. And firstly, let's give ourselves a lovely non-English pat on the back. 402 days alcohol-free. I'm 424 today.
I know,
it's
you're 22
ridiculous.
days ahead of me, aren't you?
I know, but how funny. We share the same birthday, the June 11th posse. We're both around the same stage of our alcohol-free life, which is wonderful. And just want to say how well you're looking. Congratulations. Aww. And my God, isn't life better?
Yes, it is so much better. Yeah, more better than I ever thought it could be, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. I always said
that when I was pregnant, I felt the best I'd ever felt in my whole life. But for some reason, I didn't really equate that for the fact that I didn't drink while I was pregnant.
Right.
And then now I just stopped drinking again, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm much better when I don't drink.
So were you alcohol-free throughout the pregnancy?
More than, because I breastfed for ages. So I would say 2 years then.
Yeah.
And then you hit mummy wine culture, which is really weird.
Yeah. And is that a thing? Like, you see it depicted on various TV shows, but was it a thing for you? Were people likewise just turning to a glass of wine at the end of a tough day?
Yeah, and I used to find it really, not even at the end of a tough day, like before that. Because everybody's knackered. And nobody knows how to do anything. And everybody's like, oh, should we just have a glass of wine? Yeah, let's have a glass of wine. Oh my God. You know, and it's that. And you just think, oh God, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Actually?
Well, similarly, I mean, I wasn't a young mum, I don't think, Kate. But, you know, it was getting to the stage where Monday, Tuesday, I'd finish work. I'd be, a tough day at work. And by 6:30, I'd done 4 beers. And back in the day, I'd have the odd ciggo as well. 4 beers, three Marlboros. And it's like, we loved a ciggo,
didn't we?
It's just very hard not to do that when life can be a bit tough, can't it?
I know, when you feel like you need a treat.
Yeah,
and then you think,
100%.
But why is that a treat? That's the point. I got to the point where I was like, that's not a treat because it makes you feel terrible. I got really bad anxiety all the time. And then, of course, you have a glass of wine because, it was gin and tonic for me, those little cans. Love those.
Oh, yeah.
Have a gin in a tin just to take the edge off because you're feeling a bit anxious about something. And then I realised that was the only reason I was doing it. And I just thought, actually, this is a really unhealthy relationship with alcohol.
I was getting to
allow
that
you
stage.
to be yourself. You have to have a gin in a tin.
I know. And so interesting you mentioned the gin in the tin. I used to call them my train tinnies.
Train tinnies, yeah, on the way home. And
I kid myself after a show, Kate, that, it's my little reward.
Exactly that.
But then, it's so weird, I can even picture the rush wasn't to get home, the rush was to get to M&S Food Hall before it shut after a show to get my little green lagers, and it became so unhealthy. And it's kidding yourself that it's a treat when actually the after effect the next day, likewise the anxiety, feeling crap, the fatigue, it's just adding to your woes, isn't it? It's terrible.
And then the only thing you're looking forward to is the gin in a tin on the train home again.
Yeah.
Because it's the only bit of your day that's good. Yeah. And you're missing every single good moment in between. It's horrendous.
Oh, I know. And you mentioned the good moments. There are so many, but when the desire to get that drink down you is there. You miss out on the beauty of life. And how different now is your morning routine to what it used to be? I mean, you look great. I know you like your running, Kate, and it's just being able to get up feeling good and grasping the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And sometimes I make myself do a little gratitude list every day. And sometimes it's the same and sometimes it's different, but often the same things crop up because, there's only so many things in the world. But I try and do 5 of each thing. 5 things I'm grateful about myself, 5 things I'm grateful for about my life, and 5 things I'm grateful for in the world. And I type it into my phone and I type it in every morning. And on the days when I really don't want to do it and I'm like, everything's... Sorry, swearing on the podcast.
No,
everything's terrible. On those days when it's really hard to find things that you like, even finding the tiniest thing then immediately turns me around. And then I get up and I put my trainers on, and even if I feel terrible and I think I'm only going to be able to run 10 yards, I go outside, and even if it's raining, even better if it's raining actually, because it's lovely, just feeling, and then you see nature in all the seasons, you see all the animals, you see the clouds, you see some of the same people and they all go hi on your run, and it's just honestly the best.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? When I run in the rain, in my head, I'm in some like 80s rom-com, giving it Ralph Macchio or something. But it's so interesting when you are alcohol-free, because your brain is neutral and settled and happy. You can really appreciate, I'll see a robin in the garden or saying hello to somebody, walking through the village, and it's unbelievable how you say, even if you're waking up and you feel a little bit on the back foot, which even if you're alcohol-free does happen, you just have that ability to, and it can almost open the door to a day of happiness, can't it? Oh my God, I'm not hungover, I'm grateful of life, and I've got a lovely day ahead.
And the more you do, the more that happens, the more it generates, so the happiness just goes like that.
I know. When you first started to get that, when you became alcohol-free, Kate, I felt so I couldn't believe how exciting it was, how excited I was to get to bed, to appreciate a new fresh day as well. Yeah. Did you have that? Like, it's just what an impact it makes initially.
I know, and I still have that a bit. And when I get new things, like my latest obsession is the Merlin Birdsong app. Do you have this?
No,
because if you haven't, you absolutely need to get this. Because you put it on in your garden in the morning, and it listens to all the birds, and it tells you what birds it can hear, and then you can try and spot all the different ones. It's absolutely incredible. I love it.
Oh, lovely. So not only do you have the running, but you use that to kind of ease you into the day.
So, yeah, because my little boy wakes up super, super early, which is, I get to spend some time with him before school, is the way I'm trying to see it. But in reality, I've only been in bed for 5 hours because I get home from the show really late at night, and then he wakes up at 5:30, and I'm like, oh, morning, isn't it a great day to be alive? Let's listen for the birds.
But is that something you do together? Great. Do you have that little moment together before school? Yeah, he likes to see what there is.
The other day we got a woodpecker. It was great.
Oh, I love it. But the contrast into waking up feeling lethargic and groggy, dreading the day ahead.
And terrified.
And, that fear, my goodness. The fear, the big fear.
The 2 o'clock in the morning. What have I said? What have I done?
Oh, God. I bet you don't miss. I do not miss that. I do not miss feeling of almost having to peel away the layers of anxiety and worry before I could even think about the day ahead. It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah. It was awful. I haven't really had that since I had Herbie. I mean, I have, but in different ways. But yeah, on tour and things like that, there's nothing else to do, is there?
Well, yeah, it would be curtain down, rush to the pub.
Yeah, we'd be in a hotel. We'd be in like 5-star. You did the international tour of Norway, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're in a hotel. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Go and lie in your hotel bed? No, you're going to go to the bar.
And certainly with any show, the adrenaline's pumping, isn't it? You've performed and...
Yeah, because it's like you're on holiday.
Yeah, and the go-to for years is, let's get to the bar. It's such a vicious circle, isn't it? Especially on tour, like you say, when there's nothing else to do.
And I still used to run. I still used to be up by 7 o'clock in the morning going for a run, but I just was knackered.
Yeah. I would run and people must have thought, oh, Ben, how does he do it? He's knocking back the beers, he's, giving us his Bruce Forsyth impression, which is also the same as my King Charles and Mick Jagger. But it was actually fooling myself and others, I guess, that I was okay getting
that you were
pissed most
functioning.
nights.
Yeah.
But the dread of having to run just to get back to neutral and then be exhausted for the rest of the day, it's awful. Whereas now when you run, when you exercise, I bet you're enhancing your life, aren't you?
Yeah, and you get better at it as well.
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
working with a fitness trainer. I've been doing a course with Leanne Marshall Fitness, and I've been getting into the gym as well. So I've been strength training, which is something that I've never ever done. But I had to do it because my knees started to go, because I'm very old now. And my knees started to hurt when I was running. I was like, the physio was like, you need to strengthen your glutes and you need to strengthen your legs. So I thought, okay, I'll do some strength training. Also, as a woman, when you hit a certain age, your muscle density just disappears. So you just have to.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that as well. And that's been literally amazing. And I don't think I would have made the progress I had if I'd still been drinking, because, you know, you would have been just knackered, wouldn't you? Getting at the gym, not being able to lift anything. But as you see progress week upon week, and you get stronger and stronger, and it's just like, yes.
Well, you do look so well, and the difference, I love comparing to how I used to look, like the skin, you know, the spark in your eyes, and it's just like, and I find that becomes addictive. Do you feel the same when you see the difference?
I don't really know what I look like, because I'm so vain that every time I put anything on Instagram, I put a Paris filter on it, so that looks nice. And I'm a bit, because I'm old, I'm a bit blind, so I look in the mirror and I sort of have a permanent Paris filter on, so that's what I think I look like. So I don't know what I actually look like. But what is evident in all the photos I see of myself is that the joy is authentic.
It's that
I don't have this kind
spark,
of
isn't
fear
it?
behind my eyes anymore.
Yeah, and like looking through, thinking, God, I look tired, and you know, I'm portraying to the world I'm happy and life is good, but actually I'm feeling crap. And I don't miss that. My goodness.
And you look a bit puffy, don't you? Normally, if you're drinking,
like the puffiness goes. And it's so funny you mentioned the knees, Kate, because before Christmas, likewise with my running, I started to feel my knees. I was like, oh God, I'm getting awful, old.
Isn't it? And then you get really sad to think, oh no, I'm not going to be able to run anymore. Then I'll go mad.
Yeah, I know. And then add to that, I gave my first pantomime dame this year at Blackpool. So I was giving
Heels on a Rake.
Heels on a Rake. That's going to be the name of my new single. Ben Harlow, with Kate, featuring Kate Graham, Heels on a Rake.
Can I rap in the middle?
You can rap the middle eight. We're going to go global. I'm loving it. And the rider's going to be just still water, and that's it. But yeah, it was Heels on a Rake, like enhanced the pain. I was like, oh my God. So I went to the hospital, doctors and hospital, and I've got osteoarthritis in my knees. So it's kind of like, likewise, I've had to reduce the running, but it's so interesting you mentioned the Bird app. I'm going to try that, but it's finding other releases of the endorphins. Yeah. So I ice bath, and likewise.
Oh yes, you do, because I really want to do that, but I'm really scared of it.
Oh, okay, it's wonderful. Like, I was scared, but if you can, and you can do it. If you're 402 days alcohol free, you can do it, and it just gives you such a massive boost for the day. Likewise, after a run, you're getting that feeling of, right, I'm ready to attack the day. And initially it's difficult, but I'm not joking. It doesn't half give you a boost. It's like, oh, goodness me.
Well, it's my next thing, because the other good thing about giving up booze is that you don't think you can do it, and then you suddenly start keeping this promise you've made to yourself.
Yeah.
And it gives you more confidence in yourself, and you have more faith in yourself, and you think, oh no, actually I can do hard things. I can give that up. I can go and lift weights in the gym. I can try one more round, you know, and things like, so now it's the ice bath that's going to challenge me to get that feeling.
Give it a go. Give it a go.
But sometimes I run my shower really cold. Is it the same?
Yeah, similarly, you still get that kind of cold hit, but the ice, especially in the winter, I think I did it on Boxing Day, literally smashing the ice, getting in, I was like, oh my goodness. But you know what? The feeling, it's like, it's wonderful. It's great.
You know where I'm from in Hartlepool, they do something called the Boxing Day dip. And every year on Boxing Day, everybody jumps in the sea. Oh
my goodness! Well, give that a go first if you're home for Christmas, and then give the ice bath a go. But isn't it lovely though? Like you say, it gives you, being alcohol free. It's given me like a fearlessness almost, Kate. I don't know if you agree. Where I'm wanting to try new things just to enhance myself, but also initially it is quite daunting, because for years I've been enjoying a drink that was all consuming in my life or becoming to that stage that it's just lovely to think, right, I'm actually myself now. I hope that's a nice person. Let's embrace life and give new things a go.
It's funny, isn't it? Because for years, Kate loves to drink, doesn't she? We've just had our birthday, haven't we? And every year for my birthday, I would get about 10 bottles of gin. Because that's who everybody thinks you are. Becomes who you are, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And actually this year, for the first year ever, I was 50, which was horrendous. But so everybody bought me really nice things anyway. But I actually got presents that I really, really loved. And were really personal to me and were things that I genuinely enjoy. And so just going, oh yeah, thanks for this bottle of gin. Sorry to everybody who's ever bought me a bottle of gin. I absolutely did enjoy it at the time. But when you feel more like yourself.
Yeah,
because it's not this thing about, she's that girl who likes to drink to go out.
And how people's perception of you can alter slightly as well. Like they're putting more thought into the presents, and the go-to isn't just a bottle. But it's not interesting when everybody leaves a job or a birthday. It's here's a bottle. It's awful, really, isn't it?
I know it is awful, and like when you try and find things to do. So I was trying to find things to do with my sister for a day out, and it's all like prosecco brunch, or like bowling with beers, or everything is like associated with an alcoholic beverage that goes with it, cocktails and this and wine and that. And I'm like, couldn't find anything we wanted to do.
It's
we
so
did have
interesting.
a lovely day there. We ended up going to Battersea Power Station and wandering around and doing
something. And exactly your point there. You're finding new experiences, aren't you? And that's just great, especially after so many years of just getting through the day.
And getting rid of the anxiety and being clear-headed and sharp and on your game. It's so much better, isn't it?
Oh, it's what I love is if I am knackered after a show or during the day, it's knowing it's just because I'm tired. There's no like poisoning.
It's not your own fault.
Yeah, exactly. And it's wonderful when you're going into a show when you're getting the 5-minute call beginners and you think, God, aren't I lucky? I'm feeling good. I'm clear-headed and I'm going to make some people happy now. And also how nice that you're looking forward to embracing a Sunday as opposed to the Saturday night drinks.
Yeah, it's so much better. And I don't think I would be able to do everything that I do if I wasn't alcohol-free right now. Because, like I said, my little boy gets up between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. And I am tired, obviously. Yeah. But as long as I get a 20-minute nap at some point later in the day, I'm okay for the show. I sort of reset a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. You have, and do you use an app for that, Kate? Just out of interest.
I do. Yeah. I use something called Insight Timer, which just has every meditation you could ever wish for on it. So I don't like to get stuck in a rut. So sometimes I'll do yoga nidra. Sometimes I'll do just a relaxation. Sometimes I'll do a body check. You know, there's all different ones that you can choose. Sometimes you just go, I just fancy this today and find one and it will come up and you can use it. It's really good.
And even 20 minutes, it's giving you a lovely little reset for the rest of your day.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, I can't remember who said it, but if you get to the point of sleep even, and then you get up, at least you've relaxed enough to reset you. So you don't actually have to go to sleep. It's good.
And then you get into work feeling good and ready.
And then I start again. And then I go to bed. And then I wake up. And then I start again. Because I also teach during the day. So sometimes I'm out of the house from... so we'll drop Heavy off at school at 8:30. And I'll go to teaching, start at 8:45. Or sometimes 8:30. I'll drop him off early. And I finish teaching at 3:34. And then I go straight to the show and do the show, and then I come home and get up and do the same thing again the next day because I love my teaching. I really love it.
Yeah.
And I get to work with some amazingly creative students who are just so talented. It's incredible. Yeah. And they inspire me then to go and do a better job in the evening. So I'm just there's this constant sort of circle of input and output of creativity and happiness, and it's really good. I love my life at the moment.
Oh, that's so good to hear, Kate. And you mentioned the students. I was going to ask you, with the younger members of the Mamma Mia cast, is there a big emphasis on the after-show drink? Do you find that the younger generation of performers and people and your students are more health conscious, that they're more attuned to their mental well-being and happiness? My nephew's 18 and it seems amongst his peer group, it's not such a big deal anymore to get to the pub to get blotto. Do you get a sense of that when you're working with the youngsters in Mamma Mia?
I mean, they do like a party. They do like a good time, but I think there's less emphasis on the alcohol for that to happen. I think they just genuinely enjoy being with each other and going out dancing and things like that. And some of them drink and some of them don't, but they'll all go out. So it isn't like it's an essential part of it anymore. And certainly some of the students I work with, they're so serious about their craft and their fitness and everything. They just wouldn't. They'd be like, no, I'm not drinking. I won't be able to get up and dance the next day. You know, they're amazing.
They're young, driven performers, aren't they? Which is fantastic. I mean, that must be such a rewarding position to have, Kate, when you're, you know, helping a young person's career. Is that a real buzz for you?
Oh, it's honestly the best. And you'll go in and you'll go, oh, why don't you try this? Or, you know, or give me something else on that. And they'll just come up with this amazing idea or amazing acting choice. And you're like, yes, that's amazing. Or you'll give them some homework to do on their vocal technique and they'll come back and it'll totally change and something will have clicked within them and they'll have just freed up this thing. But a lot of it is just enabling them to be free enough to use their own voice. There's no magic formula to it. It's all about being relaxed enough, mostly.
Yeah. How interesting. And you mentioned that they spur you on, you know, within your career, and
it's just been a really interesting journey for me. The teaching, it's helped me so much, as well as helping other people, hopefully.
And I had no idea how negative alcohol would become in my life. It's like the older you get, the more you learn about life, and if you're having trouble in life, that alcohol's the go-to. And I just couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. And it makes you a bit impulsive as well. You make impulsive decisions. You're not balanced, are you? You just don't think, you're not thinking things through. You're not being clear. You're not being kind to yourself. It's like, I'll just do that. And, you know, it's weird.
I know. Well, thank goodness we've both matured and we can see the beauty in an alcohol-free existence. I'm so proud of what I'm achieving, and you must feel the same.
I do. When it was coming up to a year, I kept having dreams that I'd accidentally drunk something. I dreamt that they put actual alcohol in the Retsina on stage that we drink in the first scene. And I was like waking up in a cold sweat going, oh my God, did I break it? Did I break my promise to myself?
Yeah.
And I was so stressed about it when it was coming up to that year anniversary. I don't know why. I felt really odd about it.
I was beginning to feel the pressure, like, oh God, what if I slip up here? And then, of course, you sail through and you reboot. But isn't it funny how it's almost like that landmark kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies a bit?
It did a bit, because I think the weight of what you'd achieved sort of becomes apparent, doesn't it? It's like, oh, actually, that's quite a big achievement, and I don't want to risk it ever. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to, you know, break the promise I've made to myself.
Yeah. Did you find that difficult when you did become alcohol free, to have to explain to people? Because the go-to is like, what, you having a glass of wine? Oh, I'm all right, thank you. And even to have a 0% beer, of which there are some fantastic ones out there, like brilliant. It's kind of like having to explain.
Yeah, and some people are like, but you didn't used to drink that much, did you? And you're like, it doesn't matter how much I used to drink. It's why I used to drink that was the problem. And also, I'm just choosing not to. It's okay. Yeah. Actually, weirdly, younger people don't question it at all. It's only people of our generation that, and my family as well, my dad. Sorry, Dad, but you still can't get over the fact that I'm not drinking. It's just like, oh yeah, you don't drink anymore, do you? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Did they find it difficult? And your close friends, did they understand why you chosen to not knock the alcohol on the head?
I think most people did. I think so. But I mean, in reality, I'm so busy. I just haven't been anywhere. So, and I did for the first while completely avoid social situations.
Did you?
And I still don't go out after the show. At all. I mean, I'm sure the rest of the company just think I'm completely antisocial because I don't really do anything after, where I would have been at the pub all the time. But I still find it a bit hard. I'm really working on it because I really want to still, now with the newfound sobriety, be able to go out and have fun and appreciate my life and be around that. But, you know, it does get a bit, if you stay out too long, the people around you just start saying the same thing to you over and over again, and everybody else is getting a bit drunk, and you're like, "Oh wow, this is actually really boring."
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna make my excuses and leave.
I'm gonna go home and get the bird app out.
Yeah, but isn't it lovely when you get home under that duvet and you know there's gonna be no worry tomorrow, no piecing the night together, and
Yeah. And we've had a few parties because obviously it's been the 25th anniversary. So we've had
Yeah.
some really posh parties. You know, we had actual ABBA at one of the parties.
Oh my
So you sort of
word.
have to go and you want to
Yeah,
go, you know.
completely.
But yeah, because I took my trainers in a bag, I had my posh frock on and my heels on, went to the party, had my alcohol-free beers, went round, said hello to everybody, had a really nice time actually. Car was round the corner. Got to the cloakroom, shoved my trainers on with my sparkly dress, got in the car, was home by 2. I was in bed and I knew I'd be
I
fine the
know.
next day. It was great.
It's great. And when that pin drops and settles, isn't it lovely that you do become a little bit more confident in a social environment? Because it is tough initially.
Yeah, and that, again, it's the other reason I used to drink, because I'm actually just really shy and I used to find it really
Yeah.
hard to talk to people without a drink. And I still do find that hard. Like,
Yeah.
when you have a kid, you suddenly have to make friends with the parents of all the other kids as well, and in the schoolyard, and it's actually really daunting and really hard. I found baby groups and everything like that. I used to sit at home crying, going, I don't relate to any of these people who are at these baby groups. Nobody likes me, because often people go together in like a group of 4 mums with 4 babies, and I was just always on my own, and I never knew anybody, and it was really socially isolating, and it was really hard being a new mum and not being
Yeah.
part of the gang.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, I'm not really part of the gang anymore because I'm out every evening. So there's
Yeah.
I can't join in with anything. But I've learnt now that it's fine just to have conversations in the yard and chat to people at the school fair if you can make it, which I can't because it's tomorrow and I've got 2 shows and West End Live. But, you know, it's
But
less
how lovely.
important.
And those mums in the school group probably think you're amazing, you know, and what an exciting life you have. And it is great. Like, kudos to you. You're a brilliant mum. You're living life. You're alcohol free, and you're starring in the West End. Like, that's a lot. How do you unwind now after a show? Is it just nice to get home and you're probably that exhausted just to sit and be before bed?
Yeah, I get home, make me a cup of chamomile tea, have a few rice cakes with cheese on it.
Oh, lovely.
Bit of cheese.
Bit of cheese, bit of
Yeah.
fromage.
And then I go to bed, and if there's been like a really full-on show or something funny's happened or I'm a bit buzzy from it,
Yeah.
which I sometimes am, because sometimes it's really, really fun. I mean, the 2 girls that are the other 2, you know, Maz Murray, who plays Donna, and Nicola Dawn, who is Rosie, we have a really good time. And they are so good. And I feel so privileged to be sharing the stage with them, because they are like epically talented women, and we just have a laugh in that bedroom scene sometimes, and sometimes it is really adrenaline filled and really, really fun. And if I get home and I can't sleep again, I'll put my headphones on and do like a wind down meditation to get to sleep as soon as I can, because then I'm up again early doors doing
And
Lego.
I have to ask you, one of my favourite shows is Billy Elliot. You starred as Mrs. Wilkinson. Like, being from the area where the story's set, that must have been a joyous part of your career.
It was the most terrifying bit of my career that I've ever lived through. Because it was too important to me. It was too much for me. It meant so much. My mum grew up in Easington, which is the very small mining village that it's set in. And my mum was a PE teacher, and she used to do fitness classes at the cricket club down the road, wearing the same tracksuit top that Mrs. Wilkinson wears in the show, with the same kind of parquet flooring on the floor. And the carpet and the wallpaper in the kitchen on the set in the show was my grandma's carpet. It looks exactly the same. She had exactly that. I mean, it was just, when I walked into it, it was I don't know, it was so eerily evocative of my childhood that I got a bit freaked out. And of course, I would have been the same age as Debbie, the little kid, Mrs. Wilkinson's daughter, was at that time. So it was and I was the alternate Mrs. Wilkinson to Sally Dexter and Jackie Clune and Joanna Riding. And then Joanna Riding was having a baby, so she left to have her baby and I took over. So it was sort of it was a lovely step up that I was really flattered for them to give me, but it was also just really terrifying. And I used to, you know, my husband at the time called it the piece of art in a sort of slightly stressed way, because I used to just be so worried about getting it right. I had to be perfect, because in some way I felt like if it wasn't perfect, it was betraying all the people I knew, all the people I'd grown up with, and all my sense of community and my history was so embedded in those people that were on that stage. It was too important. I used to get so stressed.
Oh my
I
goodness.
had CBT, and it really helped me.
That's good.
And that was the beginning of my learning how to reprogram my brain. And that's also what got me interested in teaching as well, and sort of how people learn things. And that sort of led me down the path that I'm on now, which is amazing. So I have that show to thank for that. And in the end, I was all right. But yeah, it was very, very stressful.
Yeah, but a beautiful show and beautiful score, beautiful book, and it's just glorious. And you've been part of so many big, important shows, haven't you? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I've been
the producers. What a show, Mel Brooks. Was that
Oh my God, hilarious.
when you're rehearsing these parts with the original cast? Do you have like pinch me moments where you're like, this is just wonderful?
All the time. The directors that I've been so blessed to be in the room with, like Stephen Daldry, incredible.
Yeah.
Sam Mendes for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Just watching him work in itself, I learned a lifetime's worth of creativity from watching him just craft. Where is the focus? Where should that light be? There's a light up there that's distracting us. He's so clear on the storytelling, and it's paramount, and it's absolutely the world that he created was exactly what I imagined in my head when I read the book. And it was so amazing to sort of share. That's what it is, isn't it? When humans share a vision of something, and their imagination is the same as yours, and you feel connected in some way to somebody else, and it just is so exciting. It was amazing. And Mel Brooks, of course, comedy genius in the room, refining. And Susan Stroman, who works in this really sort of musical way. Comedy is this needs to be this beat. If you don't say that line this speed, the punchline's not going to be funny. And she's right every single time. She's so... And again, we were working with Nathan Lane, Lee Evans. To watch them, Lee Evans must have spent a whole tea break working out the funniest way to walk through a door. And he had like 50 in his armoury. If he could walk through the door like this, or bang into it like that, or nudge that, or nudge that. And he was going, oh, no, that's not that funny. And then he'd try again. And just the sheer artistry of those people that are at the top of their game, watching it is such a gift, a real gift.
And someone with Lee Evans' talent and comedy bones, did you notice on stage that he was playing it differently most performances? Would he feed off an audience?
Yeah. He would feed off it, and then he'd feed something to them, and then they'd be Nathan Lane as well. They'd be in the palm of their hands. It was incredible. Sometimes we had a show stop, and like we would end up with them doing like 10 minutes of stand up in front of the camera. It's just so good. Literally, I can't even describe how privileged I feel to have watched that every night.
And you must have learnt so much off them, and that's helped you as a teacher, I imagine.
Because even though I'm probably not capable of that level of brilliance, I watched it and I understood the craft of it. I have no illusions, it's fine. But then you watch the craft of it, and then maybe one of your students is capable of that, and you pass on and you go, actually, I watched so-and-so do this. Why don't you, the timing of that, why don't you try that? Or, you can give them suggestions from everything that you've watched and learned, and it's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And what talent on stage. And you must be so grateful of being, performing with the likes of Lee Evans, Nathan Lane. And did you ever imagine that when you first graduated from Royal Academy that that's where you'd end up?
No. I had no, I was this teenager from Hartlepool, essentially. People from Hartlepool don't go into West End shows. It's ridiculous. I had no idea. I never thought I'd get a job, really. And then I got Beauty and the Beast in London was my first West End job. And then from there, I just kept getting another one and kept getting another one and kept getting another one. And it was just, this is amazing.
Yeah. But it's because you're hugely talented, Kate. You're so likeable. You're so warm. And you are very, very good. And you're a great company member, and all these things. If you're a nice person, of course you have to have that talent, but the fact you've gone from show to show and big shows, original cast, it's no fluke.
Well, I do think being a good company member, or trying to be, helps.
Yeah. Is it lovely that you've done your run this morning, you've hopefully listened to your bird app, but you've got the whole day ahead now where you're just feeling good and you have energy?
Today I've got a really fun day, actually, because I finish talking to you, and then I've got a couple of hours, and then we go into the theatre. We're doing our rehearsal for West End Live, which is tomorrow. And West End Live is one of the best days of the year for me. I absolutely love it because we get to go.
People say that. It's like
so
a real occasion,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 30,000 people now. I first did it
Is
with
it
Billy
really?
Elliot in like 2007, something like that. I don't know.
Right.
And there was literally like a crowd of about 30 people watching us around stage, probably with Tom Holland.
Oh.
So I first did it then, but now it's this epic couple of days, and everybody who loves theatre, which of course is my tribe of people, everybody who loves theatre I love, because I love theatre. I'm a real theatre-aholic. When I'm not in something, I'll go and see, and even I'll go and see matinees of things when I'm not there. I don't avoid the theatre. I love it. I genuinely love it. And I get genuinely excited when the lights go down and the play's about to, it's my favourite thing. So I'm a fan, basically. So I love seeing 30,000 other fans in Trafalgar Square. And we get to, because we're just down the Strand, we get to strut down the Strand in our Super Trooper boots.
Do you, in the boots?
Everybody on the way, yeah.
Oh, people must love that. I bet you make the day of so many people. I love it.
Oh, yeah. And then you get to see all your mates backstage as well. So I know that there's
a real social
Kate's
event
on before us, and there's a couple of people, who I'll see backstage, and it'll be just really nice.
Yeah. And you mentioned the theatre tribe, and it's so well supported, and it's just a very happy environment, isn't it? But the people who come and support the shows, they're just unbelievable, aren't they? Their love for the genre as well.
Yeah. And their love for each other. Because what happens is they come again and again, and they make friends with each other, and then they support each other through life. And they're just this really beautiful community of fans. And the fact that shows like Come From Away in particular had a really great fan base that were very supportive of each other, and Mamma Mia has as well.
Yeah.
And we look out and we see them, and we get to know all their names, and we wave at them, and we love them so much, and they love each other, and they all make friends, and it's just really sweet. But I don't know, it's the reason I've always loved theatre, really, because it's a collective endeavour, isn't it? The whole, all these different personalities of people, the musicians, the actors, the technicians, the stage managers, the costume people, everybody with sort of slightly different personalities and different interests, but everybody has to come together to make this thing, and everybody's working together to do this one thing. And I think that's what's really beautiful about theatre. And when it really works and everything comes together and everybody's on their game, it's magic, isn't it? You can't recreate that, I think, because so many souls are involved in making it. And that's why I love it. And I think that's why all the other people love it as well. I don't know. And it's so inclusive as well, isn't it? Anything goes in the theatre. We don't mind. Everybody's welcome. There's no judgment. There's no...
Exactly. It's exactly
it's
that.
The best.
And I love that I've grown up in that environment where there is no judgment, because that's helped me in my everyday life. Just... everybody has problems, everybody has different ways of dealing with life and sexuality and friendship and relationships, and to me it doesn't matter if somebody's nice and kind. That's enough for me. And I think theatre has really enhanced my belief in that there's some beautiful people, and just accept people for who they are. We're all in the same boat, and life is just too short, isn't it, not to try and be happy and to make other people happy.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Me too.
Well, you're looking super... You've mentioned your crazy day. I'm sure you're going to fly through it. You'll come out... You'll still be smiling at midnight tonight, hopefully, with your chamomile tea.
I'll be in my car with my audio book on the way home.
Oh, lovely. I just want to ask every guest in Benjy's Cafe, what's on the dinner menu tonight? Like, will you have time to eat this evening? Will it be a quick M&S, bit of sushi, or what will you
because
have?
I'm really good, Nikki, my personal trainer, will be very proud of me today.
Okay.
Leanne Marshall fitness lady. She's all about the planning ahead. At dinner, I've got like 6 boxes of salad in the fridge. Various different proteins ready to go with it, and different salad dressings and stuff, and a few protein yogurts and a couple of grenade bars. She's all planned. It's all ready.
I am impressed. I love it. You are on fire. Okay, it's been so lovely to have a chat with you. Thank you for joining me in Benjy's Cafe. It's not easy making the choice we've made. Congratulations on everything, your career, your 402 days alcohol free. And thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. So lovely to see you.
Thanks so much for listening to Benjy's Cafe podcast with the wonderful Kate Graham. Make sure you hit follow so every episode gets sent straight to your phone. And if you can, please leave a review. No booking required, available wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget, a new episode every Tuesday. In episode 18, I'll be joined by Amy Stubbs and Pete Simmons, co-founders of Junior Chef, offering interactive cookery classes for children with all the ingredients delivered to your door. They're brilliant. I'll get the kettle. Have a great day.